The next style I'd like to touch on is heavy metal. I think heavy metal that sometimes has got a bum rap, kind of like country that way. They think, oh, it's just straight ahead smashing and stuff. Some heavy metal is done very unmusically, and so is a lot of pop stuff too. I think with heavy metal, you need that extra edge and, maybe looser hats and stuff like that, but there still needs to be some good tone, which will come from your grip and your whole posture and your whole presentation to your drums. So it still needs to resonate music. It's just not hitting as hard as you can. You could feel music when it's that way. It's very uneasy. So with even the heavy metal, yes, you might be hitting harder at times. It's a bit more energetic music. But still, you want to make sure it's musical and that you have good tone. Now, for the first exercise, you can see it's just 2 snares, 2 bass, 2 first tom, 2 bass, 2 second tom, 2 bass, flam, and a snare. I'll play it for you. And with that, when I hit the flam on the snare, I like to hit the double rim shot because it makes it just kind of have that much more action and that much more energy to it. So here I'll do it a little bit quicker with a beat. Now, when thinking heavy metal and producing that extra energy, you obviously want to think higher stick height, obviously, because it produces louder sounds. But you want to make sure you're playing your stick height well. If you're just like this, it's a lot of extra energy, and after a couple tunes, you're just going to be burnt out. So you want to have still more of a flow. You can watch how my arms will flow more like this. Even when I come up like this, it's a lot of wrist that brings the stick up, which create a lot of stick height. I don't have to come up here necessarily. So it's down in here. You can come up here and it's more showy and stuff. It's just not really essential to get that type of tone and that type of presence. So now I'll play the example to some music. On my next heavy metal example, you can see it goes snare, floor tom, 2 bass, floor tom, snare. So you're going to be doing left lead, then right lead, then left lead, flam on the snare. So I'll play you the fill now. Okay, now I'll try it with a beat. Also, playing in a heavy metal style, I talked about the energy really needs to come from the hands, and you got to get more of a greater stick height. With the bass drum, I find, my leg can only do so much, and I actually kind of lean my body into it because it's kind of almost like a whip motion. It's like if you're throwing a punch in that, you kind of throw your whole body into it. So that's kind of what I do with the kick drum, is I actually throw my whole body into it just to give it that much more energy. My next heavy metal example, as you can see, starts with 2 bass drums, 2 first tom, 2 bass drums, 4 floor toms, 2 bass drums, 2 crashes with eighth notes. So I'll play it for you now. And now with a beat. Now with the music. On my next musical example, it's all straight 16ths, starting on the snare, accent on the 1 and the 2 bass drums, and it goes floor tom 2, second tom 4, first tom 4. So since it goes backwards like that, I find it easier to lead with the left, because then when you're coming up to the second tom, the first tom, you kind of just transition like that, you're not going like that, and then this right hand has to come in underneath the left. I find it easier just to go straight like that. So I'll do it first for you slowly. Now with the beat. Now with the music. Now in this next example, it's coming up floor tom, second tom, first tom, snare, bass. 2 16th eighth, 2 16th eighth, 2 16th eighth, eighth, eighth. A lot of these fills too will work in a rock setting, but if you notice the fills from the rock to the heavy metal, there's a different energy involved. And it's not big smashing, crashing, bashing with the heavy metal. Even when I hit my cymbals, it's not like dig in and try to bust it. You know, you almost kind of want to swipe it more. Usually when I hit my cymbals, I try not to hit them straight on like that. I like to hit them slightly off. Helps them to resonate a bit more. It gives a warmer tone. So even if you're hitting really hard, just try to more of, instead of thinking through the cymbal, try to think beside the cymbal. That way it'll help it to have better tone. So here's the example, just the fill. Now with a beat. Now with the music.